there was some issues. Whether I don't know if I don't want to speculate, but it might have been some sort of. I guess I am still speculating, but it was some sort of substance abuse, maybe, or alcohol that led to his departure from WWE.
Oh,
if I'm not
yes.
mistaken.
Yeah, I believe that he was dealing with some issues.
Something like that.
I can say here, Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling has received word, so I guess that's where his final stint will be.
Mm-hmm.
His final retirement match has been moved and will be on June 14th, Friday, June 14th. So,
Okay.
yeah, so we'll see.
What? I just got here.
Thank you for
I heard the
joining
word
us.
retirement.
Rob is here. We were
Thank
talking about Luke Harper, who requested his release from WWE.
Okay, I get confused between the two.
The
Luke
one that's
Harper's
not on
the-
TV.
What?
The one
Oh.
that hasn't been on TV.
Okay, what a buy.
He requested his release because, I mean, he's not being used, so I'm assuming that's probably the main reason.
AEW,
That's one main reason. So,
I mean, so much for the assumption that that'd be a new Wyatt family, but under
yeah,
Daniel.
that's not happening.
I'm glad they're moving away from that. That's great. I mean, we don't need it. That you're kind of pigeonholing Luke Harper and Rowan a little bit by running them into the same.
Yeah, they've been like intertwined ever since moving up to main roster.
Yeah.
So we talked about last week. I mentioned some disgruntled tweets or posts
Yes, you
by a
did.
certain wrestler. And was I not on? Was no one listening? Oh
No,
my.
one of them.
So
Let's go.
James was talking to himself.
So I
Wonderful.
was talking to myself. Awesome. Anyways, we're here. We're figuring it
We're
out.
live, and
We are live,
always
and-
with difficulties. Sasha Banks.
Sasha Banks. Yes, that is what I hinted at earlier.
Oh my
That's-
God, how crazy was that? Okay, did
She's
you
on-
guys
she's been
hear
on
about
vacation.
them laying down?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
and
she
I'm
was-
kind of.
Yeah,
You could take that a
I
lot
feel like that's
different ways.
Lilo, just like,
Oh.
Ripper.
Okay, so the word going around is that after they lost the tag team titles at WrestleMania,
I don't think it's true.
they being
Okay.
Bailey and Sasha, they lost the tag team titles or the women's tag team championships to the Iconics, who I know Ethan is a big fan of. I am as well. I think they're hilarious. After the show, they were pouting or whatnot. They were reportedly pouting and were seen like laying down and
They were
in the hallways of the
being
hotel.
very vocal about being upset.
Right. But they've kind of combated a lot of this stuff with pictures of them with Bailey and Sasha with the Iconics after they just won the belts. There's also
Sasha made a post.
there's the post. So okay, I didn't watch Raw. I was working.
Yeah.
I did try to follow up with a lot of what I was able to. So tell me what I missed here. Sasha, I guess Corey Graves made the reference again, as I mentioned, and it was something that
She took her ball.
he took her ball and went
went
home,
home.
which is something Shawn Michaels did back in the day.
Right.
Or no, I think was that Austin did that when he didn't
Austin.
want to do the job to Brock. Anyways, Sasha reportedly took her ball and went home. She
was on vacation last week.
taking it
She
officially.
She took a picture with her husband.
Okay.
And and they were on vacation.
As a few others did. Charlotte was on vacation as well. She posted
With
a few
Andrade.
pictures. We can get a little more into Ronda Rousey, who I believe has
I
a
think she's done for now.
right. I think there's an actual reason behind it rather than
Right.
just taking a break.
Yeah.
But again, with the Sasha thing, I mean that may have been the case. But okay, tell me what I missed here. So they put Naomi with Bailey.
Okay, so
What happened there?
Sasha didn't show up. So the rumor going around is they gave Sasha a few weeks to decide if she wants to stay, if she's really,
Right.
upset, if she wants to stay or she wants
They
to
gave her
quit.
a minute to cool off.
Right. That's what.
That's the word.
The word.
Okay.
WWE simply kind of, I think, incorporated it almost into storyline where Sasha Banks was she just left or didn't show
Mhm.
up to Raw. So Bailey needed a partner to face the Iconics, and one of the Superstar Shakeup members, which ended up being Naomi,
Okay.
joined her. So that was kind
Oh,
of
so
it.
that's how they. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like an official replacement or anything.
Right,
It was
'cause-
just for the night.
Okay. 'Cause
So
the way it was made out on social media is like one African American female is out. We're gonna put
There was-
taking
there was
Sasha
some
out, and we're
jokes,
gonna put
yeah.
Naomi in, and
They
it was,
did the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air
Right, there was the reference on there of the Aunt Viv, where you had the dark skin Aunt Viv being replaced by the light skin Aunt Viv.
Yeah.
And silly enough, not even growing up, this was like less than 10 years ago. I don't even think I noticed the difference for a good minute. That Aunt Viv was different. But anyways,
I didn't watch the show enough to really know that there was a
to
different
know,
one, yeah.
right? But again, so I mean, I don't know what WWE was thinking there. I mean, whatever the case was, I am curious to see. It's still, there's one of these things where everything WWE is fake. So if she's mad, she really, she's not really mad. I mean, she really could be mad, but
Right.
I don't see her going anywhere. If you think about it this way, obviously women's wrestling is becoming, or has always been a thing.
Mhm.
The women's wrestling scene has picked up recently, but I think at the same time, where else is she going to go to be highlighted and have a spotlight on her to the degree that she does now with WWE? I mean, I don't know. I think there's still a lot left there. And when you look at, and I'm getting this from, I listen to good mic work on YouTube, so I'm kind of getting this from him. It's a good point he made. When you look at Becky Lynch and where she was, I think she was the first women's champion for the SmackDown brand. But after that, she was kind of
Yes.
floundering a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot for her. She had that steampunk thing going on, and that was her gimmick, and there was nothing wrong with it. But it wasn't getting her to where she's at now. I think she was on the pre-show of WrestleMania the year before, and then 1 year later, she's headlining.
Right.
That could maybe be the case for Sasha, maybe not. But, I think maybe some time away. I think that's the thing with Sasha, too. She's always been in the grind, and I know this is her dream. She grew up wanting to be a wrestler. Maybe she just needs to take a little break and then come back. But leaving WWE, I don't think will happen. I don't know. That's just me.
why did she pull out from her show though?
Oh,
The
from
talk
the
show.
Wendy. She was on vacation.
Yeah.
The Wendy Williams
She
show?
literally posted a picture of her on vacation. So.
I mean, so again, that was the Wendy Williams show, right?
Yes.
Wendy Williams.
And
was
apparently they were upset.
Who was upset?
Wendy Williams and the team because they had to
fill in a
fill in,
segment or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Wendy Williams, I'm not knocking Wendy Williams, and who would have thought we were talking about Wendy Williams on a wrestling show? I'll keep it short. She's going through her own stuff. I
yeah, that's
believe
what I was about to say.
she just made a comeback, I think, to her show after some time away, and then
She's getting divorced.
then she's getting divorced, and there was always the rumor behind that, which is the reason why I think she stepped away. Anyways, enough on Wendy Williams. Again, I'm curious. I don't know where the Sasha thing's gonna go. I think there's still a lot of left to go through, especially with the storyline of the 4 Horsewomen and whatnot. It seems like we're still gonna be a little ways away from that. But I think if we're done with the topic of Sasha, I think this will work as a good transition, at least from what I saw on Twitter. But it was an original post from Ronda Rousey on Instagram where she kind of said she had the hashtag in which it was saying I'm on vacation, but in between the words I'm in vacation was the word pregnant. Did anyone else see that?
Yes, I saw that post. Yeah.
Okay. And then I was gonna tweet that. I was gonna retweet. I just retweeted. I don't want to leave any comment because I don't know what's true and what's not.
Right.
But it sounds like she's pregnant.
Yeah, and if she isn't, she's probably planning to. I mean, but yeah, it sounded.
Which is the time to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
with the career she's had and whatnot, you kind of it's like with WNBA and a lot of the other things, you gotta take maybe a year away from the career and kind of start that family, and that might be what Ronda's doing here.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to take our first commercial break of the show. When we return, we're going to talk about the Superstar Shakeup and some controversial, in my opinion, controversial. It's actually pretty controversial. It was trending.
The Viking experience.
Yes, and we'll talk more about that when we return right here on Beyond the Ropes.
So whose mic wasn't on? What happened?
Yeah, my so he was talking to himself?
Electric hair has
Yeah.
all your
It's
I
alright.
didn't know you were switching to another mic. 'Cause
It's only
both
like-
ones are already
Yeah.
on.
It's only like 4 or 5 minutes in. It's alright.
4522. That's 562-958.
No wonder when I was walking out, I'm like,
Probably
I
hear
hope
me a
the
little bit.
speakers are on.
Could you not, you couldn't hear me at all?
There was no speakers. I couldn't hear you out when I was walking.
Oh. Dear.
En la esquina de East 7th Street y a la
So, I thought the show went good, Rob.
Yeah.
I thought it went pretty good. And near the end there, I was like, oh my god, what else did I ask?
So I was just experimenting, messing around, because like, they were like, you gotta turn in a promo, you gotta turn in a promo.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna play it right now.
Okay.
So wait, what did you do?
You'll see.
You made a promo for the show?
Yeah, because they needed something to, because like, everybody, like, in order to get back on the air, every time you switch days and stuff, you're expected to, like, right away.
So are you doing a show next semester?
Oh, well, if I could go ahead and fill out paperwork, if there's a volunteering thing, I'm gonna go ahead and figure out days and time.
Oh, well, that makes that easy. Wow, I don't have to do it if you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
What I was gonna ask, actually, Rob mentioned it and brought it up. Are you taking the television class next semester? Please say yes.
I don't know.
You haven't registered yet?
Well, because I am for the requirement,
When is your
but
registration date?
I have to check. No, I have a hold, I think, so that's why I haven't been.
oh, because what Rob was saying was like you can do partner, like it makes it a lot easier or whatever. But so we'll
I'll
talk
sign
more
up if
about
you
it. Yeah, I don't.
Program and support provided by
Like 20
Turkish
spots.
Airlines, serving 304
Maybe.
global destinations and 122 countries. For more
I don't
information,
know.
visit turkishairlines.com.
Let's see if it plays. Oh wait,
If what, but
it's from the Mac. From the Mac.
Oh.
Check this out. Get ready, because I'm tagging you in to tune in to 22 West Radio every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific. Oh, yeah! As myself, Rob Flores, Ethan Ortiz, and James Williams will discuss everything related to the professional wrestling industry.
That was great! Yeah! Right to the kisser!
oh my god.
Now watch this!
So don't miss a single episode of Beyond the Ropes.
That's cool. I was just waiting for an onset. Oh hell yeah. That's pretty good.
Let's see which ones are there.
And we're back with Beyond the Ropes. Can you hear me now? Am I live?
Testing
Working?
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Right.
Once again, I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And you can always give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, where we post some content, predictions, additional posts. We are not on YouNow as usual.
Not yet.
We are on YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes on YouTube. Or go to Rob Flores Media. You can follow us all on Twitter.
And you've heard R-Truth. Some R-Truth.
Was he in there?
Well, the beat.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
The
okay.
opening beat is R-Truth.
Oh,
For the
interesting.
promo we saw.
Interesting. Yeah, no, I was like, wait, really? Okay. You can follow us on Twitter at EthanNV95.
Rob Flores Media.
And you can follow me at JHW Reporter. Usually I do have the Periscope set up for my followers so they can kind of tune in and see what we're talking about. But the show started off a little rough. I forgot to set it up. But I think what it
We were rushed in.
We were rushed in, but I think so was this gimmick that is called the Viking Experience that I saw trending. I know they were called the War Raiders. Tell me a little. Did you watch the Raw, correct?
Yes,
Tell
I
me
have.
about this Viking Experience
All right.
throwback to the Berserker type.
Well, let's start from the beginning. It was like right at the beginning, but we'll start with the open on Monday
Okay.
Night Raw
Alright.
because the show was pretty newsworthy overall because of the
Okay.
shakeup.
Right?
It opened up with Shane and Stephanie McMahon.
Okay.
Shane was kind of rubbing it in again, best in the
Mhm.
world. He
Yeah.
did the intro. He had the announcer introduce him, and then they announced the first trade from
Mhm.
SmackDown moving to Raw. And before they got to announce it, Shane had no idea who it was apparently.
Right.
And the Miz's music hit, and he attacked Shane from behind. Miz got a little bit some color.
Got some color on
Got
him.
some
Yeah,
color,
that's
but
right.
he ended up getting a few chair shots in on Shane. So the Miz is so far, I think, the only person to trade every year.
Really?
And since a draft in 2016,
Huh.
he's moved back and forth every year.
It kind of sounds.
It might be by request.
Just
I mean, he works at every spot. It works for
He
him,
floats
so.
to the top. He manages to
Yeah.
find a way. But how interesting is that to get? You know, it sounds like it was hardway color. And for those who don't
Mhm.
follow wrestling or the
Yes.
lingo, color means you get blood.
Blood.
Hardway means it wasn't done on purpose. You
No,
actually.
it looked like an accident. You couldn't even tell, I guess, where he did it or
Mhm.
how it happened. So
I'm trying to remember the last time an opening segment had color in it. You don't see that a lot.
it's been a while.
It's been a while, that's for
Um,
sure.
So let's talk about the first match. So I started off with Ricochet and Aleister Black coming out, so they are officially
Mhm.
on the Monday Night Raw roster. That was
Okay.
confirmed last night. They are officially there. They're not
Right,
moving
right.
back and forth anymore.
They're not split up.
Their tag team were the tag team champions. It was an 8-man tag, by the way.
Right.
So Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, the current Raw tag team champions, teamed with them to face the Revival, and a new tag team, formerly known as War Raiders in NXT. They are the current NXT tag team
Right.
champions. However, when their music hit and all the excitement, because you heard the fans, they kind of popped.
They popped for him, huh?
And then I looked at the video screen, and it said the Viking Experience. And then when the announcer announced them, it's Ivar and Eric, the Viking Experience. So not only did they change their team name, but they changed their regular
Their
singles
gimmick
names.
name, yeah.
And Twitter just went crazy because both the Viking Experience and War Raiders were trending worldwide on Twitter
Yeah.
for several hours.
Right.
And throughout the show, it was an ongoing joke. Every person that would come out would be known as the something experience.
Okay.
Literally, that was the ongoing joke throughout the night. Even tweets today, oh, tonight's going to be the SmackDown experience.
Right.
Literally. So,
It was kind of, again, I haven't followed up much with NXT. I'm aware of who the War Raiders are.
Mhm.
Again, it was kind of surprising to see them trending at number one, considering too, at least on, I feel like everyone's trending list, it can be a little different, but
right.
on mine, they were ahead of the NBA playoffs, and there was some exciting.
They were trending number one, yeah.
There were
I saw that.
exciting games last night in that. I know the MLB, Puig came for came back and played against the Dodgers, hit a home run against Kershaw. There was a lot. There was, there was sporting news and stuff going on, but the War Raiders were still trending number one on top of it.
People were not happy.
Are they that popular in NXT? What is the?
They're a pretty popular group. I mean, they started out, they got their fame in New Japan
Okay.
as known as War Machine.
Okay.
When they came to WWE, they had to change
Of
their
course.
team name to War Raiders.
You got it
because-
copyrighted, damn it.
I think the main reason, I think it might be the copyright, but
Oh, and
it's
War
also
Machine.
because Heavy Machinery is also a team.
It isn't War Machine. Isn't that a superhero?
That too.
Something they
Right.
probably couldn't
Yeah,
trademark or
so
whatever.
they decided War Raiders.
Yeah. Right.
But they kept their kind of gimmick and evolved more into Vikings because they weren't really doing the whole Viking thing
Right.
in
Right.
New
Right.
Japan. That kind of molded more here in NXT. And yeah, now they're the Viking Experience.
So the look didn't really change much, right? It's really just
No,
kind of the name.
It's the name. And from what I've read, Vince McMahon decided to change the name
Of course he did.
because
I feel like it's
Because-
the name more. They don't want them to
it's-
change it.
it's sponsors. They don't want to risk losing sponsors over the name War,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
apparently, and that's the reason going around that's probably why they changed the name, because they don't want War in a tag team. It could hurt sponsorships. It might not look good.
I guess.
With that being said, there's a lot of better names than the Viking Experience.
Yeah, I mean,
Call them the Viking Dynasty or something. I don't know. Even
yeah.
that is, I mean, anything with Vikings kind of a little over the top.
I don't know. I'm curious to see if they change it again next week.
There was a
just
lot of
because
rumbling, so
Who are those two big dudes back in the 80s or whatever? What was it called? Typhoon and who else?
Oh, earthquake and
Earthquake and
typhoon, the natural disasters. Yeah. What about them, Rob?
Oh, well, just thinking original like that. Like,
Well,
well, hopefully they don't get. I don't know.
I don't know.
It sounds like
Curious
the
to
Viking
see.
Experience sounds like an '80s tag team thing.
it does. It
Honestly.
really does.
wow.
I'm kind of.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
Twitter was not happy. However, they're a great tag team.
They got the win over the tag team
They got the
champions.
win. They pinned the tag team champions, and they look really good. So that's good for them.
So I'm assuming. I mean, I'm curious, especially because this was. Well, they had the tag team tournament or whatever. I think that's how they won the titles, correct? So.
No, they already.
Oh
had-
no, that was the Dusty Rhodes Classic,
That was the
which is
Dusty-
separate, right?
Right, they had already been in the Undisputed Era in
Oh,
January.
that's who it was. Right, so they shouldn't have even taken the titles off of him.
I don't know what they're going to do now.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? No, because
No, I know.
Because that part of me was thinking that when they had because the finals for that Dusty Rhodes Classic was the War Raiders versus
Aleister Black and Ricochet.
and I thought maybe they had the title or something, like there was a reason there. But so now, I mean, more likely than not, they're going to take the titles off of.
Well,
the
they could
NXT
do.
titles, I'm
They
assuming.
could show up in NXT stuff for a while. They've done that with Kevin Owens.
That's true.
He
That's
debuted
true.
with the NXT Championship. They didn't bring their titles with them, so
Right,
I think
right.
they probably don't want them to carry them. I don't know, for whatever
Who
reason.
knows?
But they are currently the tag team champions, and we'll see what happens with
Unless on Raw they're the Viking Experience, but on NXT they're still the War
them.
Raiders.
See, that's what I'm trying to figure out. We'll have to wait and see, I guess, for the next few weeks how they're
Right.
treated.
Right.
Whether or not they go
Yeah,
all
I
in
mean-
on this warrior. What is it called?
The War,
Not the. See, I'm getting my
the
Viking experience.
I'm curious to see, if just the next time on NXT they just change it to the Viking Experience like that.
I'm not sure if I read right, but did they copy me where they drafted Eric by himself?
No, we're gonna get to that. 'Cause that's another thing that there was like 3 things that I did not like. The Viking experience was one of them, and it left a bad taste in my mouth the entire show.
For the so
So
early in
I
the
was
show.
like, I was super excited. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then you saw the Viking experience on the
Right.
screen. I'm like,
yeah,
that is terrible.
Oh boy, here we go.
next up, Finn Balor came out, and he had a one-on-one match with the new Raw superstar Andrade with
Yes,
Selena Vega.
yes.
I think I predicted this on the Facebook page. Very happy with this. I think Andrade will do great on Raw. They had a phenomenal match. Zelina Vega got involved
Right.
at the
right.
end, but it's a heel thing to do. Andrade got the victory
You got the pin
over
you know,
the IC champion.
So I mean, I don't know how you're gonna give guys the titles and then you're gonna have them getting pinned in the middle of the ring.
Well,
Wait, that means no Charlotte, no?
Correct.
Separate
Charlotte is on
shows.
SmackDown.
Oh, they're not gonna last them like that.
We'll see.
Well, he's got to stir the pot. But what it did do was Selena Vega is married to
Aleister
Aleister Black.
and they're now on the same show.
Yeah. So
Well,
I
the
mean,
thing is, Charlotte and Andrade aren't married, so I think if
Right,
they were
right,
married,
right.
they do that. Because
Yeah.
they did it with another couple as well later on in the show, which we'll get to.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, actually, by the way, one of the Viking Experience members, I think it's Eric, is married to Sarah Logan,
That's right. That's
who
right.
is on Raw. So
Yeah.
so there you go. Great match. Next up, Elias was performing.
hmm
Got interrupted again, as usual. It's becoming a thing every week.
Oh, by Rey Mysterio.
By Rey Mysterio, the
Yeah.
another new Raw signee. He got the upper hand, and then Lars Sullivan's music hit. Lars Sullivan is officially a part of Monday Night Raw as well. Obviously, he made his debut last week, showing up on both Raw and SmackDown. He is now officially on the Raw brand, and he destroyed Mysterio with like a sit-down powerbomb. So
Right, and it was kind of interesting too, because when I didn't watch Raw, but I kind of heard some of a live reaction video on YouTube, and when I was listening to it, they said, "Oh, Rey Mysterio's the newest guy on Raw." He interrupted Elias, and then Lars obviously attacked him. So to me, that means is Rey Mysterio healthy now?
yeah,
You know what I mean? That was kind
He
of
was
a
moving
quick,
fine.
a quick turnaround from WrestleMania when they had a short match. He might not have been healthy.
I think the thing was they were just doing a precautionary measure. He wasn't like hurt. I think that's why they
Right.
cut the match short.
And it wasn't a full match. I mean, the whole segment with Lars and
Well, he was moving just fine when he was moving around with Elias. He was doing the springboard stuff.
it's
So
interesting.
he looked fine. So.
No sign of Dominic, huh?
No, they just completely dropped. They dropped it.
Dropped him, huh?
So next up, Chad Gable and Bobby Roode, now heel. He turned heel
That's
last
right,
week.
Last week. Mhm.
Kind of came out and made the open challenge to any tag team in WWE, and we saw another new tag team moving to Raw again. Another team, I'm very happy, is moving over to Raw.
Yeah.
The Usos
There you go.
are now on Monday Night Raw.
With the tag belts?
No.
Did
So we didn't
they-
talk about it.
Wait,
Last
did they
week,
lose?
they lost the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
Wait, who did they lose to?
The Hardy Boys are now the new Tag Team champions.
Oh, that's right.
Great
And then,
match.
that's right. And then Lars Sullivan attacked them. Right?
Lars Sullivan
Yeah,
attacked the Hardys
that's
after. But yeah, as soon as they lost those titles, I knew they were moving over to Raw. Because same thing happened, or might happen with the Revival. They might be moving over to SmackDown tonight, but we can give our predictions in a bit. The Usos defeated Chad Gable and Bobby Roode.
Right.
Fun tag team match. The Usos are going to definitely help keep this tag division alive. SmackDown's tag division is great. Raw has kind of always suffered, especially over the last few months.
Yeah.
There have been good matches, but the overall teams.
So what does the tag division look like now? I mean, you got.
On Raw, you have the Usos.
Mhm.
You currently have the Revival. You currently have Chad Gable and Bobby Roode.
You know, you have Alistair and.
Alistair and Ricochet, I guess, are staying as a tag
Right,
team.
right.
You have the B team, who are currently
Yeah,
there.
right.
You've got
Hawkins and.
Hawkins and Ryder, which are the tag team champions.
Yeah.
You've got the Ascension.
Yeah, the
Um,
Ascension. When was that?
Exactly. So some of
Are
these
they on
teams
TV?
aren't. Yeah.
Because so that's what I'm trying to figure out. Is there a division? Because if you're looking at SmackDown, if you lose the Usos were a big part of the division in SmackDown. So now my next question is, as of right now, who's left and
On SmackDown.
making up the SmackDown
You
tag
got the New
division?
Day. You got the Hardys.
You got the Bar. in
the
there.
Bar. Gallows and Anderson
Yeah.
are leaving.
Wait, what?
You did not hear? Well,
I did not hear.
they apparently opted not to re-sign their deals, so when their contract comes up in September, it looks like they're leaving, unless they change their minds. But
Right. Well, it's just interesting because I've heard.
it seems like they're done.
I heard like retiring or moving.
Well, just leaving.
Okay,
them.
well, because I heard Anderson on a podcast recently. They're always on different podcasts and stuff, but they kind of asked about that. It sounded like he was still happy with the situation there or whatever. So.
For a long time, he's always tweeted about how happy he is in WWE and how they're giving him the opportunity to be with his family. However, it seems like they're not re-signing. They could be going to their buddy's promotion over there.
Yeah,
So
they're close with them.
and it'll be in the United States, so I think that's where they want to stay. They don't want to go
That's
to
right.
Japan.
That's right.
They'd have to make two different tag divisions then of belts, because you would imagine the Young Bucks are going to want to wear the tag belts.
Well, I mean,
I'm
it
sure
gives them something to work
It's
with.
some competition. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. But SmackDown has a few tag teams, and again, I'm sure they're gonna. I mean, Heavy Machinery is probably gonna be there on SmackDown as well.
Yeah, they might change their name too. Who knows?
Yeah. who
Maybe
knows?
not, but, eh.
There might be a new NXT call up as well. So
Right, and well,
the
okay.
Revival, I'm assuming
Will
the
move.
Revival might move.
Okay, so there was this tag team thing about that Paige was talking about. Was that for the women's division? Who was that directed toward? Oh, the Iconics, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a
I was-
mystery. but
Yeah, right. Okay, I was just
I
making
don't know.
sure on that if that was. I'm curious to see about that, but
Yeah, we'll find out
we can
tonight.
stay on with what we're.
Next up, Alexa Bliss had a moment of bliss.
Okay,
Her,
so
her
she's
talk show segment
So she's back on the talk show
Yeah.
scene, huh?
with Sami Zayn in his hometown of Montreal.
Okay.
This was amazing. Sami Zayn kind of came out to obviously a loud ovation. They played his music like 3 different times. So
Oh,
he came
really?
out to it, he sat down, and they played it again, and he was doing his crazy dance, and all the fans were into it.
Right.
And then as he was talking about how amazing Montreal was, he mentioned, the only problem with Montreal is the people, and he completely turned the crowd
You
against
poo
them.
poo it all on him.
He completely turned them against them, and it was amazing.
Did he call him ugly? Because that fell a little flat with me last week.
He called, I forgot what exactly he said. I think he says the art was great, the architecture is great, but the people are terrible.
And people are okay.
I don't know the
Just
exact
basics.
words.
Yeah. Okay.
But he completely turned the crowd against them that were just cheering him. They even got, started Kevin Owens chants because he's from
Okay.
Montreal
Yeah,
too.
that's right.
And he was like, yeah, that's the reason I don't like you guys. And then again, his famous quote at the end when he left, "See you in hell."
See you in hell. Okay.
That needs to be on the t-shirt.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. Well, yeah, I'm sure it will be. It won't be heavily promoted because it has the word hell on it, but I'm sure it'll be a
Well,
shirt.
hell is, they mentioned Undertaker and Kane.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they won't even call the War Raiders probably because of the name of
Uh.
war, so I don't know. We'll see. WWE's a
Yeah,
weird
makes
place
sense.
sometimes.
Next up, the Iconics came out to take on Bayley and a mystery partner who came over from SmackDown,
All right.
Naomi, as you mentioned.
Okay.
Again, she is married to one.
Well, that's
Jimmy Uso.
the
so there you go.
That's the relationship
they
we're
kept them
talking
together.
about. Yeah, that's good.
And it was a quick match. Bayley and Naomi picked up the victory, so they made all the incoming superstars look strong.
Yeah,
From
which
SmackDown.
is still kind of silly. Makes sense, but in a way,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have had Andrade in there with the.
Well, who knows?
Finn.
I mean, it was a good match.
I mean, it starts a feud, but it's.
A feud, I don't know, it might not last.
Why?
We'll talk about it in a bit.
Oh.
Because we have a commercial break to get to.
Are you leaving me with the teaser?
That's
is that
right.
what this
Well,
is?
we've got a few more things to talk about on Monday Night Raw, but then I'll give you another special teaser, a prediction.
Oh,
Right
my
here
God.
on Beyond the Ropes. We'll be right back.
I'm in shock. I got played. I was like,
Breakfast
He's like,
on
I'll
What's
tell
on
you.
the
I was like, what?
Visit Carl's Jr. in the
You
USG.
got me
No
hook,
place
line, and sinker,
with
and I'm on the
big
damn
things.
show. I'm like, what? What do you mean?
We gotta talk about Naya too.
That's right, she got hurt.
Gave the double, was it
Double
double
ACL.
Double
surgery.
ACLs, yeah.
Wow, 30 years. That's where with
Where'd
purpose.
she go? She was in the tag
With
match.
Purpose is a youth-led
She was a team with Tamina, so
dedicated to
Well,
making
so what
kids
happened with-
cancer
so what
have
happened
access
to-
to
when did
safe
it
and
happen, you know?
effective treatment
Oh, it's happened over the
options.
last
We
year.
need more
She said
treatments
she's
for
been dealing
kids.
with
They
it
should
Oh,
have
really?
the chance to
over
live
the last
lives
year,
they
so
were
she's
given.
finally taking the
For
time
more
off to get those.
information,
Yeah.
visit
Well, shit, everyone does it after
facebook.com/withpurposelb.
WrestleMania. Just you get that big check, and then you start. Then you air your grievances, and then you can take a few months off, and you'll be back for WrestleMania push.
Wrong answer, Nene. Try again.
What is this?
Otaku?
Wrong answer.
That's
It's
terrifying.
Otaku
Yeah.
Hourly. Otaku Hourly.
I made promos.
Thanks,
I'm glad you had a normal
activist.
promo, man.
Yeah, your promo was good.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thanks for having a normal one.
Wednesdays, 9 p.m.
Terrified of the other ones.
Oh, this is my Renee Dupree promo.
This is what you think French music is. Just accordions.
I gotta
and
listen to
waltz.
this show one
Well,
day.
What time is the show? Did it say? Or we had to
My
listen?
name is Ricardo
Yeah, this-
Alejandro Pulido, aka Francois, and I'm your host along with my lovely
I wanna
co-host
sit in on this
Selena
guy's show.
Castañeda, aka Kaz.
I think
and
he's
we
always
are
Tuesday nights.
Francois
Yeah, it's
sur la
nighttime.
radio,
Nighttime, sir.
bringing you SoCal,
See, I was gonna use this on my digital camera for this
all
stand-up,
kinds
but-
of French theme music, the good, the
I
bad,
don't know if it's
the
shoot light or
old,
not. I
and
think
the
she's
new,
giving her own
as
points.
well as info on CSULB's French Club and anything related to
I
the
mean,
French
just turn it in.
culture.
Just do it and email it.
What I say?
Join us for un temps inoubliable or an unforgettable time.
What did he
Tune in
say?
every
Yeah, I
Tuesday
have
from
no
9
idea.
to 10 p.m. A plus, mes chers amis. Bonsoir et au revoir. Yours truly, Francois.
Are we playing it again?
So what is the beef? Oh, that's the
Get
R-Truth
ready.
thing.
Because I'm tagging you in to
Really?
tune in to 22 West Radio every
It's like
Tuesday
just-
at 2 p.m.
Would you remix
Pacific.
it, or where'd you find that?
As myself, Rob Flores, Ethan Ortiz, and James Williams will discuss everything related to the professional wrestling industry.
That was great. Yeah. Right to the kisser. Quiet, McMahon. I'm trying to watch.
Is that from a video game?
Yes. It's a Super Nintendo game.
There you go. I knew it.
And we're back with Beyond the Ropes. I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And you can give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. We are also on Twitter at EthanNB95.
Rob Flores Media.
And at JHW Reporter, and I'm about to stream the Periscope here in a minute.
Awesome. And you can find us on YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes or go to Rob Flores Media. All right, let's continue the Superstar Shakeup on Monday Night Raw. Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman. Where is he headed? Is he moving?
I don't think so. EC3 came out, so EC3 is officially a member of Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
And Braun Strowman was his opponent, and the match never got started. And EC3 got destroyed by Braun Strowman.
I would imagine so.
I need you to tell us how many TNA people are on the Raw roster.
Everyone.
I mean,
I was looking at that. I was like, I tweeted it out. I was like, wait a minute.
Wait. but Braun Strowman's not a TNA guy, right?
No, I'm talking about EC3.
Yeah.
EC3.
Right.
Well, I didn't mention EC3, but he's on there. I mentioned a few other names, but I was like, the entire TNA roster's on it. On
It's-
Raw. I'm like,
it's-
they're on one show. I'm like,
They're all on one.
that's interesting. Anyways, apparently EC3 had to fill in for someone because this was not originally
Uh-oh.
planned.
Okay, what's the T? As
The
the
United-
kids like to say nowadays, what's the T?
The United States champion Samoa Joe was apparently supposed to be traded to Raw and show up on Monday Night Raw.
I heard something about this. Yeah.
He had the flu,
Right.
so he was not able to show up. So that means Finn Balor is moving to SmackDown as the Intercontinental Champion.
Oh, that's what you're okay.
Unless they lose,
Right.
they trade titles or something, which I'm disappointed about because the ending kind of destroyed all my hopes of a reunion of sorts.
Oh,
but
for the.
yeah, which we'll get to in a minute.
Okay. Oh, because
Yeah.
Oh Boy came over.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Eric Young
Okay.
officially gone
Oh wow!
from
Yeah.
Saturday.
The whole TNA thing is on the.
Eric Young has joined the Raw roster
All we need is on date.
via a graphic.
Via graphic.
He did not
I
show
mean,
up.
how often is he even on the show?
He
Not
hasn't
Rarely, right?
We
I mean,
Dixie Carter.
I mean, on any team, like, was he on SmackDown much?
Barely.
And so what?
Saturday is done.
And so what I heard was, I guess the other two or one or two of them are Killian Dane. I
Killian
think
Dane
is
and
he?
Alexander Wolf are on SmackDown still.
I thought I heard that one of them might be going to UK, the UK brand.
Oh, then
I don't know. Are
They're
they
both-
are they
they're-
you or from the
they're
UK?
both
or-
yes. Killian Dane is Scottish.
I don't know if they're.
Yes. Yeah.
I guess
yeah, he would.
I don't know.
And then Alexander Wolf is. Oh my.
I feel like there's going to come a point where you don't have to be from the UK to be a part of the brand, right?
Right, but as of now, it's kind of all
Right, you build it with
that area,
Yeah,
the the European kind of area.
to get them
I
invested.
mean, Australia's there too.
Right.
They
Okay.
have- The first two women's champions are Australian.
The iconic, yeah.
No.
No, who am I?
UK.
Oh, okay.
Tony Storm and.
Oh, that's
Europe,
right.
yeah.
That's right. Wait, so they have tag titles over there?
No, I mean the first
Women's champion.
singles women's champion.
Yeah, correct. Okay.
They beat each other for the title.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Eric Young got moved over. Cedric Alexander also got a video
Yeah,
package.
he did.
Is moving from 205 Live. 205 Live is
Which is kind of interesting because
losing the
now,
roster.
now I'm kind of curious what it is they're going to be doing. You know, if they're making it that brand specific, having Cedric Alexander on Raw, what are they doing with 205 Live? Where are they going to
They
go?
should have
with
sent Ray over there.
no.
Please
I
no.
mean,
I mean, it would have been Ray would have,
it
you know.
would have been worked in some capacity.
When do they do 205? Do they do it before SmackDown?
After SmackDown.
After SmackDown?
So tonight it'll air live. Cedric will face Oni Lorcan, who actually recently joined 205 Live. He is also in NXT as a tag team with Danny Burch. So
Okay, not familiar with them.
yeah, they're a tag team and they've appeared a couple of times in NXT UK. Because Danny Burch is from UK.
Okay.
So yeah, interesting trades, I guess, or move. Next up, we had Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch defeat Ruby Riott. I feel like the Riott Squad is going to get split up.
That'd be
I
interesting.
feel like Sarah Logan will stay on Raw.
Oh,
And
wait.
Liv and Ruby will probably move to SmackDown.
That's where Sarah Logan's from. I always forget about. Like I always forget she's.
She's a part
With
of the
them.
Riott Squad.
Okay.
Becky Lynch won with the Disarm Her, and then Natalya came out and challenged her. And then Lacey Evans came out,
Right.
who is now officially a part of Raw as well,
Okay.
and said they're going to have a number one contenders match. Winner will face Becky for the Raw Women's Championship.
Oh, because Becky's still, I guess, bouncing, right?
Yeah, because she has
She
both titles.
Right. Okay.
So she's appearing on both shows regardless of her brand.
Yeah,
which
right,
I
for
guess
now.
is originally SmackDown. But
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say they'd have to tease that. I mean, you would almost think there's gonna be a title change, but I don't see her losing either one of those titles.
probably not. Lacey Evans won. Decent match.
Mm-hmm.
She has a cool finisher.
Is she?
She uses
Was that her? That was her first match, right? I thought I heard that
It was the first singles match on Monday Night Raw.
on. Okay, has she done anything on SmackDown?
She's
As far as I know, she just shows up.
she has had matches on main event.
Okay,
I
but not
believe.
on like the main.
Not on Raw,
Okay.
not in the singles
Right,
match.
I thought I had
She
heard that.
She
Okay.
competed in the Women's Rumble and the...
Right.
Oh, that was it, I think. Women's Rumble.
Okay.
Yeah, so it'll be Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch.
Mhm.
I'm assuming at the next pay-per-view, or who knows, maybe in the next few weeks on Monday Night Raw. So
Okay.
she's getting a push.
Yeah, she's gonna push. I don't know too much about her. I know she did have a little time on NXT. If
A
I'm
little
not
bit. She
mistaken.
could have honestly used another year.
There, right?
But-
They kind of moved her up.
I think she's doing the best.
You know what? I love the comments that Becky Lynch. I haven't seen a lot from what is it, Lacey Evans?
Mhm.
I haven't seen a lot from her side on the tweets, but
She's
Becky, man,
She's fired a couple of good shots.
Has she?
I mean, Becky Lynch obviously.
Becky's been on a roll. I've
Yeah.
been some of the
She called her
fake Charlotte,
Fake Charlotte, yeah.
fake Charlotte. I'm like, oh, this is great. What? Oh, Charlotte's on vacation, or oh, the company likes. You could tell they like
The certain
blonde.
kind- yeah.
Right. I'm like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great stuff.
We got another teaser
Another
for a
teaser
returning superstar.
for this. Is it the puppet thing again?
Bray Wyatt is not a puppet. Well, they played that earlier in the show. They played a new one later in the show with a dollhouse and then a few, like a horse.
Yeah. Your rocking horse. or
Rocking
whatever.
horse, and then a doll on a chair rocking, and then the doll laughs in a very creepy way.
So is this the same? Is this the
The
same?
doll looks like
ad?
Paige.
Oh Lord.
The doll looks like Paige if you.
Is let me see.
Oh.
I mean,
Let me
it kind
see.
of.
Oh Jesus.
And she's laughing.
It's like okay. So now, are you putting this together with that puppet thing,
I
or
want
are
to
they
say
separate?
they're all related to having some type of connection to toys and children.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means.
So they showed this during Raw. This Paige lookalike doll thing, right?
Yeah.
And then
I
they.
don't think it's Paige.
No, right.
It just looks like her.
But they did show that vulture puppet
They
thing
showed it at the beginning.
earlier.
It's the same thing that they
But
showed
it
last
is the
week.
same thing. Oh, okay.
And then they showed the update, a new one.
So that's what I'm trying to think, because usually they don't show two promos like that, like two
Well,
vignettes on the same.
Well, I think that what they do is they show the first one earlier on, and they'll show a new one if they have a
Right,
new
right.
one later on,
Okay.
and then next week they'll probably show again this
That
doll
one again, maybe.
at the beginning, and if they have the new one, they'll show that one.
That's interesting. I mean, they better have something with Bray
They
Wyatt.
better do something good because
It better be something good. I mean, it's interesting, and I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see.
Yeah,
Imagine it change his name to like the Puppet Master or something.
It might. Yeah,
knows?
I could see that.
Possibly.
I could see that. I could see something like that happening.
All right, next up, the main event. Throughout the night, it was teased that it'll be Baron Corbin, Bobby Lashley, and Drew McIntyre taking on the team of the Universal Champion, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and an incoming superstar
Right.
from SmackDown Live. It was obviously none other than the phenomenal AJ Styles
Yes, it was.
with the shaved beard. It looked very weird.
I didn't even notice that. I watched the network video where after where he made his debut on Raw and said he was glad to be back and he's gonna make it the house that AJ built again and he's gonna build it brick by brick.
I like this trade.
So I didn't notice the beard, but all right.
Yeah, only a few people noticed. I don't think it was a big
Mhm,
deal. But this kind of broke my. I was excited for a minute, and then after the show, I realized I read the report that Samoa Joe was supposed to show up, and that kind of tore me down a bit because that means Finn's probably going to SmackDown,
And
and,
you-
there will not be any type of
Finn.
Bullet Club or club reunion that I wanted.
There is no Finn
I mean,
trade.
I'm assuming they're doing
Unless,
that.
unless they keep Joe on SmackDown, ultimately.
So I mean, I just think that's kind of interesting. Again, I noticed that. I
But
forget
no,
where.
Gallows and Anderson are still on
Are-
SmackDown,
right.
regardless. So
Well, and I saw where they did the T-Suite together.
yeah,
at
that was a
some
while
point.
back.
It was a while back, but I
They
mean,
teased,
so they did tease. Yeah, I do remember there was a little interaction
but obviously
there,
that.
but it does seem like they are kind of keeping him away. And I mean, the trend would obviously lean, especially what you said about Samoa Joe, would kind of
If-
hint at Finn Balor likely
moving
moving
to
over
SmackDown.
Yeah.
All right, so we have a few minutes left. I guess any predictions on who's going to show up? Now that we know who's going to be on Raw, at
Did
least
you
from
read
SmackDown.
that thing about Vince?
What?
There's been a couple of things about Vince.
There's
Which
a-
one? Oh, he's going to make. There's apparently the SmackDown's biggest acquisition.
Oh, Drew
It's gonna be-
McIntyre.
It's going to be Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns.
Oh,
so don't get
Jesus.
your hopes up. I'm just
Yeah,
going to say
Brock
that.
would be different.
No, I mean,
But it's
yeah,
not going to be
sure,
exciting.
but for what? Yeah.
Just because it's somebody that hasn't been on SmackDown in a long time. I think once
Shows up
Triple
like
H got
once.
drafted there, but then he forced them to trade him back.
I'm sure
Oh,
he
yeah.
did.
Yeah,
But-
that was in the old. Yeah.
That would
So-
be something.
Who's going
I
to be
mean,
the biggest
it-
acquisition?
This could have been something that you could have used for Lars Sullivan. This could have been another way to introduce
Oh,
him.
that would have been a disappointment too. For at least many
well,
fans.
because it was kind of teased already that he was supposed to be there.
See, they're getting your hopes up.
But that's what I'm saying. I mentioned this last week when they were talking about Lars Sullivan being the top free agent because he showed up both on Raw and SmackDown. I don't like this free agent thing when they're, if it's a free agent, it needs to be someone who's coming off of Ring of Honor or something. If you're saying a free agent, it needs to be Jay Lethal or someone who's not in a WWE, has a WWE contract. Someone who's actually a free agent coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So saying it's a free agent, someone who spent a month on Raw and now is just, I don't buy that. So this big acquisition that Vince is talking about needs to be someone who's not on or, who was on Raw last week.
Oh, Road Dogg stepped down too.
That's
I
right.
didn't see
Road
that.
Dogg
When was
stepped
it?
down as lead writer or lead of creative for SmackDown. Apparently, he was just tired of the late changes that would constantly be happening right before the show and even during the show from Vince McMahon. He is still going to remain part of the company in some other way.
Just taking a step back from the leadership role. It was kind of interesting, especially him going into the Hall of Fame. But I think too. So I did hear hear about there was a writer who quit during the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Who was
apparently for Bret Hart mentioning Vince's name, the writer quit because apparently Vince was not happy with that.
Yeah. Because the writers are supposed to approve the speeches or whatever.
Yes, and before they could fire him, he quit. I guess apparently it's probably his way out anyways.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, Superstar Shakeup tonight. Vince is going to announce a big acquisition, whoever that may be. I'm not getting my hopes up. Paige is teasing a mystery tag team.
So it sounds like there's some things to look forward to on Raw and SmackDown.
We're obviously going to get more Shakeup news.
So if you have someone to the caliber of AJ Styles going over to Raw, who's taking that role on SmackDown?
Roman Reigns.
Now, do you think that's the big acquisition, or is
Brock. I'd rather see
No.
No,
Brock
it's
than
not
No,
gonna be Brock. You don't.
It'll be Brock.
Or
and
X Pac
then-
finally
no,
gets in the ring.
Stop it.
Roman's going to be there. He won't be the big acquisition. It'll
Right,
be
that's
Brock,
what I'm-
But Roman's going to still show up.
Okay, I can see that.
Because they did tease last night that all three guys
The
on
shit.
Raw,
Oh, go on.
AJ, Seth, and Roman that were standing tall, it could be the
Right.
last night on Raw, with the exception of AJ, at least, because he's already.
Yeah.
So they teased him.
Ooh, there's been talk about Daniel. And the only way that'd be possible for him to trade is if they took Seth and it forces Daniel to have to take the WWE title to Raw.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's been talk
Well,
that
Daniel's
like,
not going to show up because
yeah.
it's over.
It's over, right?
So
So he's
Raw-
not.
no
so
one's
he
showing
didn't
up on Raw,
move,
yeah,
right?
no.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Whoever didn't show
So
up.
that means Kofi's not moving.
New Day's good, thankfully.
Did you? I think that's
Xavier
how.
Woods.
When he was all disappointed. And I
He
was
was
like,
like-
what is he disappointed about?
They took The Miz and they took, oh my god, they took someone else.
They took his guy.
Oh, they took the
Usos, right?
And then later on, they took AJ Styles too.
They took
for
away.
up, down. He's like, we better get Breeze.
Right.
tomorrow."
Well, and that's what attracted. That's what caught my attention towards the tweet to begin with, because I'm like you're. I was kind of confused. I was curious about it 'cause I'm just like, Breeze. Like, why is that your? I knew he had the match. He had a good match coming off that Worlds Collide
'Cause of
thing,
the up,
Changed
up,
his
down,
look,
down.
too.
but it was because
Yeah,
of
he
up,
did.
down. So I was like, okay, that's
It's like
interesting.
they lost their tournament kind of for their
Right,
all their
right.
video games. So
I
they have
mean,
to-
you get some new guys in there. I'm sure he'll find some people and make it work. But
yeah. So it's interesting.
do you watch the up, down stuff?
I
A
used
lot?
to a lot. Now I just kind of skim through it. I really don't watch.
Okay, I really haven't.
I try to watch
too
the
much of
tournament
it,
stuff because those are fun. But especially the Madden ones, because Kofi and Seth are always
Are they talking trash?
they're always back and forth. I
Yeah.
think Seth was like champion 3 years in a row, and then Kofi beat him last year.
Oh, really?
So
I'll have to watch some of
there's
those.
a few ongoing feud
And,
with them.
and I heard Big E obviously is out. We also mentioned during the break,
Oh.
Nia Jax is
So-
getting double ACLs.
Nia Jax
surgery.
will likely miss 9 months. Typically, with those surgeries, Big E is expected to miss only 6 weeks, thankfully. But it's likely
Yeah.
he won't be on the road.
Right, I heard that he will be coming back. It wasn't
It'll
too
be
bad
soon.
of an injury.
No,
so-
it's just to clean it up, I guess.
Yeah, just
Makes
scoping it out of it. Part of me is thinking, I thought if it was going to be a long-term thing, I thought that was going to be the making of a heel turn. or the start of a
No.
heel of a heel turn where he's gonna come back and say, "Well, you had the championship," and he'll probably make up something where we helped you win the championship, yada yada yada, and then he's gonna be jealous that he was sitting at home. He's gonna come back, and then
Yeah, well, thankfully not. It wasn't.
I'm just fantasy booking. I'm filling in for Rob on the
I know.
fantasy booking committee.
There we go. So as always, thank you for tuning in tonight. SmackDown Live will have some big acquisitions because remember, Fox will be getting SmackDown in the fall, and this may affect.
Yeah, that's
this
true.
may affect. You might need some big names,
Which is why Roman might go.
and Brock might show up as well.
I don't-
Even though I don't want him to, that's likely.
Cena's still a free agent.
Cena's- Yeah, who knows?
I think maybe this big free agent signing thing. Maybe it's Velveteen Dream.
Maybe,
I
yeah,
doubt
that's
it.
what I was like.
I
maybe
doubt
it's a
it,
swerve, but
but
it's an NXT guy.
I mean, especially because Velveteen Dream had it on his trunks, whatever. Vince called me up, or
call
and they
me
had the
up.
whole thing. Maybe,
Yeah, so-
maybe this is it.
We'll see. Thank you for tuning in. You can always give us a like on Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. Follow us on Twitter at EthanNB95.
Rob Flores Media.
And JHW Reporter.
Find us on YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes. So thank you for tuning in. This episode has been too sweet. And until next time, we'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Beyond the Ropes. See you later.
Bye, y'all.